Hi YouTube, it's Nicole coming back to do my labor and delivery story for you all. Yes, baby Markayla is finally here. She's sleeping right now, so I was going to have her in the video, but she's sleeping right now. I'll do another video with her in the video. She was born on January the 21st, 2011, so she's 2 weeks and 4 days today. And I've been having so much fun with her. She's such a cutie pie. Everyone says she looks just like her dad. So maybe when she gets a little older, she'll look like me. But anyway, I think I last updated you all when I was 39 weeks, and I was due to have, he was going to induce me that next day, on that Friday, which is the day that I had her, on January the 21st. But let me get into my crazy labor and delivery story. As you all know, in my last video I told you that I had to call the hospital at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they had me set up for what they call a elective induction, which means it was nothing medically wrong with me, or I wasn't past my due date. He was inducing me because I wanted him to, and I was ready. So I had to call the hospital at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the hospital was going to let me know if I can come in at 5 or 6, 7, 8, or if they had a bed open for me, or if I couldn't come at all. So I had my fingers crossed, hoping, that they'll tell me to go ahead and come in. And on the paper, it say, when you call at 5 o'clock in the morning, be dressed and ready to come, in case they tell you to go ahead and come now, or you'll lose your scheduled time. So I set my alarm clock for 3 o'clock that morning. Me and my husband stayed up real late, still getting a little last minute stuff prepared for baby Markayla. So we didn't get into the bed until about 12 o'clock that night. So I had my alarm clock set for 3 o'clock that morning. My other two kids, they were already off at my sister's house. And I kept hitting the snooze button. He was like, all right, you better hurry up and get dressed. You know how slow you are, and they're going to tell you that it's too late. You better call them at 5 o'clock exactly. So I went ahead and got up about 3:30 I got up, and I got dressed, took a shower, did my hair and everything. And I woke him up because it doesn't take him that long to get dressed. So I woke him up, and I was sitting in the living room playing around on the internet while he was getting dressed. So around 4:30, he told me, he was like, well, go ahead and call him now. I was like, well, they told me don't call until 5 that morning. He was like, well, call him now in case, someone called before you. You can go ahead and have a bed ready. So it was exactly 4:30. So I get up. This is so crazy. This is so crazy to me. I mean, we were so shocked. I get up and I walk in the bathroom to get my cell phone and to get the paper with the number on it, so I can call the hospital to see if I can go ahead and come in for 5. So I'm walking out the bathroom, and my husband said, why are you walking like that? And I was like, I don't know, I feel pressure. I was walking slow, my legs were kind of open, and all of a sudden my water broke. And he looked at me, he was like, what's wrong? I said, oh my God, my water broke. And at the time I only had on a t-shirt and my underwear. I know, too much information, but that's what I had on. And he looked, and I just opened my legs, and the water just went everywhere. So he was like, oh my God. He was like, you don't have to call the hospital anymore. You have to go now. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I didn't call the hospital. We just head on out the door because my water broke. So there was no need for me to call the hospital to see if they had a bed. They had to take me because my water broke. So me and my husband, we was talking about it on the way to the hospital. We was like, that is so crazy. Like, you were scheduled to get induced today, maybe, if they had a bed for you and your water broke. So we was happy about that. So we on the way to the hospital, and it's like, as soon as my water broke, I started having contractions. So we on the way to the hospital, and my water broke, and I'm having contractions, so he's driving slow, and I'm like, you need to hurry up, hurry up, get to the hospital or whatever. So he was like, you're not going to have the baby now. I was like, no, but I'm in pain. I want to get comfortable and lay down in the bed. So we get to the hospital, and I give them my name. They was like, you were scheduled to get induced today. You were supposed to call at 5. And I was like, my water broke. They was like, your water broke? And I was like, yes. So they was feeling the same way like us, like, oh my God, that's crazy. You were scheduled to get induced today, but your water broke. So they took me to triage, and I guess it's some kind of test that they do to see if your water really broke. So she got this little strip of paper, and I guess if it turned a certain color, then your water broke. So she was like, yeah, your water did break. So she checked me, and she was like, I think I was still 3.5 centimeters. She's like, you're 3.5. And I was like, okay. She was like, we're just getting the room ready for you. You'll be in your room in a little bit. So we just there in triage. Then we was there for about 20 minutes. About 20-30 minutes, and then they finally took us to our room and hooked me to the monitor. And she was like, your contractions are coming so strong. She called my doctor, and my doctor, he was surprised too. He was like, her water broke. So it was no need to start the Pitocin and anything on me, because I went in labor on my own. So the nurses was like, with your other 2 kids, do you stay in labor long? I was like, no. I don't know what you consider long, but my labor never lasts longer than 6 hours. So they was like, are you fast? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty fast. So let's see, I got in my room about 5:30. I probably got it in my room. And like I said, she checked me in triage. I was 3.5. So they hooked me up to the monitor. My contractions coming, the baby heartbeat is good. So me and my husband, we just sitting there talking. The contractions, they were coming, but they was hurting, but not as much. So I say around, let's see, my sister got there. No, I guess around, let's see, she checked me in a triage. We got to the room about 5:30. So around 8, she checked me again, and she was like, okay, you're 5 centimeters. And I was like, okay. So my husband's like, 5. He don't know. So he was like, 5, you fast. I was like, well, yeah. I said, I'm almost there. So my sister called, because she had an appointment, but she wanted to be there. So my husband was like, oh, she 5. And my sister's like, well, she moving too fast. I'm on my way. So my sister and my best friend, they were on their way. So my best friend got there first. And yeah, my best friend got there first. Then my sister came, and my contractions, they started coming real strong. And at first my husband was saying he didn't want anybody in the room when it was time for me to push. He wanted to experience that on his own, because this is his first child, so he wanted to experience that on his own. He didn't want anybody to take his moment. But then he changed his mind. He was like, okay, well, your sister and your friend can be in here. And when I saw him in contractions, he was like, oh my God, I'm glad they are here, because I don't know what to do. And I was moaning, and everybody, and the nurses kept saying, you don't want an epidural? I was like, no, I don't get those. I don't believe in those. Well, it's not that I don't believe in those, but I never had one with my other 2 kids. So, I just wanted to keep that going. So they was like, oh my God. They was like, I never seen anyone that didn't want it. So she was like, you want any medicine in your IV? I was like, yes, let me have some medicine in my IV. Well, years ago when I had my other 2 kids, they used to give you Demerol, which works great, because all you do is go to sleep and sleep through your contractions. Well, they don't give Demerol anymore. They give something called Nuvain or something like that. And she was like, well, it's going to take the edge off. It's like Demerol. So when she gave it to me, I felt kind of drowsy, but I was still up. And it didn't work. I felt every last one of my contractions. And I was like, oh my God, can I have some Demerol? She was like, man, we don't give that anymore. I was like, well, can I have some more of whatever you put in my IV? So she gave me some more. It still didn't work. I felt every last one of those contractions. She was like, well, you need to consider getting an epidural. I was like, no, I don't want one. She was like, oh my God. She was like, you're doing good. She was like, I've never seen anyone come in here and don't want it. She was like, you're not how I was moaning, but I wasn't just over dramatic with it. And every time I have a contraction, my sister or my best friend would rub my back. So that helped a lot. It helped a lot. So they checked me again at, let's see, they checked me at 8. I was 5. Then they checked me at 11. I think I was 8. No, they checked me at 11. I was 7. And so they called my doctor. They told my doctor, okay, she's 7. So my doctor, his doctor's office is right next door, so all he had to do is walk over. So I think he was scheduled to do a C-section around that time, so he was already over at the hospital. And so I kept feeling the urge to push, and but I was only 7. And she was like, well, you're only 7. So she said, we're going to check you again at 12 in another hour to see. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So she checked me at 12 and I was 9. And she called my doctor. She was like, she's 9. The head is right here. You know, she's ready. So my doctor was like, okay, well, I'm right here. Call me when she gets 10, when it's time to push. But I kept feeling the urge to push when I was 7, 8, and 9. So she was like, well, it's not time. So every time I have a contraction, I was telling my sister, oh my God, I feel like I had to have a BM, a bowel movement. And she was like, no, the baby head is right there. You feeling the urge to push. And I was like, oh my God. So my husband, he had got comfortable when we first got in the room. He got comfortable, put on some little sweatpants and some slippers. So around 12:30, 30 minutes later, she checked me again, because my sister called. My sister was like, she had to push. She's pushing. She had to push. So the nurse came. She said, oh my God, she's 10. The head is here. So she called the doctor. The doctor rushed in. So I'm pushing, and my husband, he hurried up and changed clothes and put on his tennis shoes. And my sister was like, why are you putting on tennis shoes? They was like, he said, I got to get ready. I got to get a good grip. So everybody was laughing. So my friend, she was recording it, and I was pushing and I was pushing, and they kept saying, her head is almost out, her head is almost out. But every time I stopped pushing, they say the head will go back in. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. I pushed every bit of 9 times, I know. And I was just pushing, and at the end I gave up. My sister, I started crying, and my sister's like, what's wrong? And I said, why she's not coming out? My sister said, she's almost out, just push, push, push. So my sister's like, oh my God, she's panicking, she's panicking. So I was pushing, so my husband's like, push, Nicole, push. She's almost out, she's almost out. So I pushed, and I gave it one big push, and her head came out. So they was like, okay, the head is out, the head is out. So my doctor, he was like, I'm going to cut you a little bit because it's hard for the rest of her body to come out. So when he cut me, I felt it. Well, he numbed me a little bit, but when he cut it, I still felt it. So I was like, oh my God, you know. So he was like, it's just a little sting. I was like, no, that was a cut. So I finally pushed her out, and oh my God, when she came out, she was crying, and she looked just like her dad. Everybody said, I never seen a baby come out with eyebrows like that. Her eyebrows were so thick, and she looked just like her dad. And I mean, it was an easy delivery for me. I went fast, so I ended up having her at 12:51. She was 6 pounds, 13 ounces, 19 inches long. So that's my labor and delivery story, and I'm having so much fun with her. She have company a lot, and well, just my sisters and my best friend come over a lot to see her, and she's such a princess. She is so pretty. I mean, she is pretty. You know, everybody say their baby pretty, but you know, some of them babies be coming out kind of ugly. No, I'm just playing. But no, my baby is beautiful. So I'll post some pictures of her at the end of this video so you all can see her. And also I will make a video with her in it when she's up, so you all can see baby Markayla. But this is me. I'm back. I don't have a fat face anymore. It's still kind of chubby, but not as much. And I supposed to have went to the doctor Friday for my 2-week checkup, but we had weather here. It was supposed to be a lot of ice on the road in Houston, so they canceled my doctor's appointment. So it's this Wednesday, which is tomorrow. And but I really lost all my weight. I lost all my weight so fast. I was 147 when I found out I was pregnant, and I was 183 at delivery when they weighed me when I went to the hospital to have her. So I am back down to 150. So I'm just 3 pounds away from 147. So, and everybody was saying, oh my God, I can't believe that you lost all that weight and your stomach is almost back flat. And my sister now was saying when I was laying in the bed, as she was dropping, my stomach was going down while I was in labor. And my friend was like, oh my God, you lucky. I never seen anybody's stomach go down while they're in labor. So, and that was that. And I'm just going to show you all my 2-week postpartum belly. It's down, but not how I'm used to having my stomach down. I'm used to having a flat stomach even after my 2 kids. So I know it'll be back there. I didn't get any stretch marks. And like I said, I'm back down almost to my pre-pregnancy weight. So let me just show you all my 2-week belly. So, and I just came home. My pants are undone. And that's why I still have on this jacket. So this is my little pudge. Got a little bit to work out there. This is 2 weeks. I will show you all my stomach. It don't have any stretch marks, but it's dark. You know, after you have the baby, it's dark. It's gonna go back. I mean, it's gonna turn back to my natural skin color, but I still don't like it. Well, I guess I'll show you all. So this is it. A little play out. So I just have a little bit to work on. I think it should be gone within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I'll be back myself. And if you all can see, I lost a lot of weight. So I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.